Cube root of junk cubed is junk. And 4 cubed is how much? 64. There you go. Yes, ma'am. Oh, it just means whatever's underneath there. Okay, a lot of times when I'm talking about junk, if this was the cube root of 2x, and I cube here, cube root of junk cubed, they undo each other, so you're just left with what's underneath it. Okay, that was just kind of the generic way that I would always say it. It doesn't matter what's underneath it. All right. Again, this isn't anything too crazy. This is anything more difficult than what we've done. But now we get into the next one. So you have 2x to the 3 halves is 250. Work backwards. What do you have to do first? Good. So you're going to divide by 2. Just like if you had 2x squared, you couldn't take the square root right away. You still got to divide it out. So you have x to the 3 halves. Down a little bit. Is 125. How do you undo 3 halves? 2/3. You are 2/3. Because when you have power to power, what do? You multiply. Yeah. So 2/3 times 3 halves is 1, isn't it? So now you 2/3 the other side. Well, 2/3 means you take the cube root and then you square it. Well, we all know the cube root of 125, right? And what's that squared? There you go. Okay. Complexity isn't that bad, is it? No. It's just remembering that you know how to do this. You know how to do this. Okay. All right. Does it change? No. No, not at all. So we have, let's see, the square root of the quantity 4x minus 7 plus 2, and it has to equal 5. Oh. What do you have to do first? Subtract the 2. So now we have square root. 4x minus 7 is 3. Now what? Square it. Good. Then what? Solve for x. Okay. 4. How do you know if you did it right? You can check it real quick. So what's 4 times 4? 16. What's 16 minus 7? 9. Square root of 9. Add 2. Yay, we math. Okay. All right, let's make it more complicated. I don't know if you noticed, we start really easy, we just start to get a little crazy after a while. What if you move 2x over the other side? That's exactly what you do. That's exactly what you do. Very good. So I don't know if you guys heard what Xander said. In this case here, you've got square root of 3x plus 2, subtract 2 root x, and then from there it equals 0. So what we want to do first off is move the negative 2 root x to the other side by adding it. Okay. So if I add that over, I now have the square root of 3x plus 2 is 2 root x. Okay. Square it. Good. Now, here's where it gets a little tricky. Squaring the left side's easy. Square root of junk squared is junk, so it's 3x plus 2. When I square that side, what do I get? 4x. Very good. Because you have to square the number out in front. Okay? Yep. Don't forget to square the number out in front. So your answer on the other side would be 4x. What's x? All right. Let's see if we're right. What's 3 times 2? Add 2. 8. What's the square root of 8? 2 root 2, isn't it? So what's 2 root 2 minus 2 root 2? 7. Okay, wait, I'm going to zoom back to that because it's muy importante. Hold on. See? Es posible. Y mira, accepted es bueno. I'm an idiot. It's okay. Now, here's the one where you're all going to screw up. What are you going to do first?
You're running add.
What?
Oh,
you're going to square it. What aren't you going to forget to do?
You're not going to kill a puppy.
Thank you. Please. Please don't kill a puppy at this point.
Speaking of killing puppies, where are the trains?
That was awful. Speaking of puppies, though, I watched the news in the morning when I'm making breakfast and lunch and all that kind of stuff, and it's like, dude, I watch the WGN morning news. It's like a cartoon. It's funny. They're just a bunch of dopes. But they had a story about like a German Shepherd or lab pups were born, and one of the yellow labs was born in green.
That's awesome.
It was lime green, and it was because the what is it the sac or whatever the umbilical sac or something like that had some sort of marconium, I want to say it's called. Babies get that and they throw it up when they're infants and stuff. But it dyed the skin because it just stained it, so the puppy came out green. It was awesome, but it faded away over time. But the puppies did. So guess what they named the puppy?
January16.
Well, those are coming up soon. They named him Hulk. Anyway, there's your puppy information for the day. So what do we do now? Besides trying to kill puppies, which we know is a bad thing, it's scary. When you have junk squared, this means we have to do junk times junk. I guarantee there's going to be at least 3 or 4 of you that will forget that.
It's not gonna.
Okay. When you get to this point here, bless you. When you get to these points where you have junk squared, ladies and gentlemen, I am hoping by now you do not need to write it all out. You should know how to do the shortcuts and know how everything puts together. Squared, multiplied together, doubled, and squared. Okay. Set aside equal to 0. Means you got to bring the 2x back. Oh boy, that's a quadratic, isn't it? Yeah. What times what's 16? You add together to get -7.
8 and 2.
Positives or negatives?
Negative.
Good. X minus 8, x minus 2. That gives me possible zeros at 8 and 2. Now, I have to check to see which of these may or may not work. Sometimes they work, sometimes they don't. Okay. What is 8 minus 4? 4. What's 2 times 8? Square root? 4. So that one works. What's 2 minus 4? -2. And then 2 times 2? Square root? Now that doesn't work. Now here's the thing. When we're going this direction here, we're not taking square roots of both sides at all, so you're not doing plus minus, you're doing what the actual value is. This is what we call, remember what we call that when it's an answer, it's not an answer? There you go, extraneous. It's an answer, but it's not an answer. If you remember Dick Geron, he said it's my show, but I'm not on that. It's my show, it's not my show, but I'm on that show. That's what he said. Dick Geron, he was the coach of the Bears before Lovie Smith, or was he after Lovie Smith? I'd go ask Montana, he's got a quiz. Yeah. Remember, this is what I want to come back and remind you guys to always double check your answers. All right, let's make this funky.
Yeah, let's go forward.
Sorry, that was all the way over that one. So it's the square root of -5 minus 3x equals square root of 2 minus x plus 1. It is not. I try to make sure when I write these things out, I try to space it over enough so that way it shows that it's not underneath the radical. When you look at textbooks and stuff, bless you, they do a pretty decent job of moving it out so you won't make that mistake. Okay? Take a guess what you're going to do first. Square both sides, good. So if we square both sides, square root of junk squared is, so that side's easy, so it's negative 5 minus 3x. Now I have a binomial that I've squared. Okay? So you have to basically, in essence, FOIL it. Remember the trick was, first term squared, so it's 2 minus x. Multiply these two terms together and double it. The sign in the middle is positive, which means this next sign will also be positive. So it's 2. And then last one is squared. What's 1 squared? 1. Okay? It's okay. All right. Remember, all I did, well, these markers are dead. Oh, I don't know why these things never erase. Remember, all I'm doing here, a plus b quantity squared is a squared plus 2ab plus b squared. That's the shortcut, okay? Now, I have a whole bunch of variables and stuff on one side and variables on the other. I'm going to move all the non-rooted stuff to the left, okay? If I do that, I have 2 and 1 is 3. Subtract the 3, I have negative 8. I have a minus x, which means I have to add it over here. What do you do next? Yeah, very good. Divided by 2. Yep, divided by 2. Alright, so I have negative 4 minus x is the square root of 2 minus x. So far, so good? Now what? Square it again. Okay. Well, now the stuff on the right's easy. Square root of junk squared is junk. It's up a little bit here. Now I'm going to FOIL it. So what's negative 4 times negative 4? 16. Negative 4 times, excuse me. Negative 4 times negative x, 4x, double it. And then negative x squared would be? Okay. Actually, for some reason, did I do the, just double check, I'm trying to remember, make sure my sign is right in the middle. It's always weird when you have the reverted signs. So it's 16 plus 4x plus 4x, okay. I was just double checking, make sure my brain was correct. All right, now what am I gonna do?
You move all that other stuff over.
Yep, move it over, rewrite it. So you'll have x squared, 9x, and then, what is that, a 14? What times what's 14? You gotta get 9. 7 and 2. You guys thought you were done factoring.
I knew that.
I was refreshing.
I knew that learning the different ways to pack.
I don't think we're really done anything.
Oh, yeah. Are we really doing that?
Does anybody really know what time it is? Does anybody really care?
It's 8:05.
It was a joke. It was a song.
It's 5:05. It's okay. I still care.
So now let's bring this all the way back down. So we're going to check it. Let's check it now. What's negative 3 times negative 7?
21.
Positive or negative?
Positive.
21. What's negative 5 plus 21? 16. Square root? Okay, so that's 4. What's 2 minus negative 7?
9.
Square root is? 3 plus 1?
1.
So negative 7 works. Do the same thing. What's negative 3 times negative 2? 6. Negative 5 plus 6. It'd be 1. Square root of 1 is 1. Negative 2, I'm sorry, 2 minus negative 2. 4. Square root plus 1. I'm back on home. See what I did there? The extraterrestrial. Hey, did you guys know that M&M's, they originally wanted to eat M&M's, but M&M's wanted too much money? Yeah, they wanted too much money for their product placement, and they said, screw you, we'll use Reese's Pieces, and then the rest is history. I highly recommend when you take ice cream, and you guys ever use Magic Shell? Yeah. Of course, Magic Shell's great.
Magic Shell.
All right, then this isn't, it pertains to you, but for everybody else, normal people that like Magic Shell, when you pour the Magic Shell on your ice cream, put some Reese's Pieces in it as it hardens, and it freezes them. Oh, yeah. You don't know what Magic Shell is? It hardens like a hard shell. And then the best is that when it drips to the bottom of the bowl. It's like anyway, try that one. Magic Shell? You've never used Magic Shell? Put it on an ice cube. It's like air quote expired. Now, I will say, I know there are different flavors of Magic Shell. The only one that's worth anything is the chocolate fudge. We tried the Heath one once. It's just, it doesn't taste as good. I'd rather just eat a Heath bar or the Crunch. They used to have cherry flavored Nestle Quick. Nestle Quick with chocolate, like the chocolate powdered chocolate, but it came in cherry. All right, what are you gonna do first? Square both sides. So you square both sides, and it shouldn't be. This one shouldn't. It kind of matches up what we just did. So hopefully, after you do an extra one of these, you'll be like, "Oh, that's not terrible. It just looks like poop." Squared and junk. Squared is junk. Remember the shortcut. Square the first. Square the last. Add the two together, I'm sorry, multiply the two together and double it. What's my sign going to be for the second term? Awesome. So it's going to be plus 4 root 2x minus 5. Okay. Oops, forgot my equals. Remember, it's first term squared, last term squared, multiply the two together and double it, put it in the middle. Now, obviously, I got to move the stuff to the right-hand side, so I get 2x minus 1. So subtract 2x, add 1, so I have 2x minus 2, I believe. Is that right? Yes. And then I have 4 root. Okay. So far, so good? All right. Now what? I divide by the 4 first. Divide out by the 4. Okay. Now what? Square it. Okay. You gotta square it. All right. Now is where you guys will be more displeased with me. So this one's easy, junk squared. What's 1/2 x times 1/2 x? 1/4 x squared. 1/2 x times 1/2 is 1/4. If I double the 1/4, what do I get? 1/2. My sign in the middle now is going to be negative. And then what's negative 1/2 times negative 1/2 again? Positive 1/4. But looks kind of gross, doesn't it?
Yeah.
What are you going to do to get rid of the fractions? Multiply by 4. Multiply everything by 4. It's an equal sign, it's an equation. But multiply everything by 4, won't my fractions go away? So I have 8x minus 20, x squared minus 2x plus 1. I just scaled it. Okay. Even though that fraction was there, it's not terrible to work with. Worst case scenario, you'll get 1/3. What's 1/3 times 1/3? 1/9. Okay. If you have 1/3 plus, I'm sorry, 1/3 times 1/3, you double it, you get 2/9. So it's not going to be really, really, really bad. Okay. From here, subtract the 8x, add the 20. So we got here x squared minus 6x plus 21. For some reason, I think I missed something because I don't think that's factorable. Oh, yeah, that's why I'm going, wait, I don't think. Now it works. 7 and 3. Now I'm like, wait, now we should be okay. Oops. So you have two possible solutions, 7 and 3. So what should we do?
You should put them back in the.
We got to go way back up top. And bring the equation down. I know, it's the worst. All right, so what's 2 times 7?
14.
14 minus 5.
9.
Square root.
3.
Plus 2.
5.
4 times 7.
28.
Minus 3.
25.
Square root.
5.
7 works. 2 times 3.
6.
Minus 5.
1.
Square root.
1.
Plus 2.
3.
Okay. 4 times 3. Minus 3. Square root. Hey!
Anything more satisfying than filling out the paper? I just know, it's like, does this not look good? It's like, I don't know.
Well, it's like Moose was so happy when he did math. He filled up the full page and he did math.
I don't know, it just looks
It's for linear programming. I mean, come on, who doesn't enjoy writing out big graphs and equations?
I enjoy it.
Do I have a yoga ball? No, but I've ever showed you guys a video of me hitting my child in the face with one.
One time me and my brother,
When he was in a sling.
yeah,
I'll show you. It's pretty funny. Oh no! Oh no! Dios mío! Oh! Lo siento! Our founding fathers put forth in order to form a more perfect union, establish justice, certain domestic tranquility, and not do crappy math.
so basically,
It's all in there.
divide by -5.
So, what do you think you got to do first? Subtract 7. Good. Now you'll notice that as you get going into these things, you've heard me say this. We're not using calculators, are we, ladies and gentlemen? No, which means this should all be calculatable by hand. All right. So first thing we do is subtract 7. What's negative 128 minus 7? There you go. So you have negative 135 is negative 5 times some junk. Okay. I wonder what I'm going to do next. Teeny?
Divide by.
Oh, no, no, I did that. I did that.
And you don't multiply by 2/3. Anyway, so 5 goes into 13 how many times? Twice. How many are left over?
3.
5 goes into 35 how many times?
7.
There you go. And it's positive now. Are we okay with that? Okay. Now this equals x to the 5th to the 3 halves. So I have to undo that exponent. Good. So what's the exponent am I going to use? Good. Remember, what you're using is you're using reciprocal exponents. And you're right by saying you take the cube root and square it. No, he said divide by 5. Oh. Yeah. Anyway, so what's the cube root of 27? Square it. And what's your answer?
45.
All right. Now these are also relatively simple to work backwards with. What's 45 divided by 5? 9. What is the square root of 9? 3. What's 3 cubed?
27.
27 times negative 5.
Oh, 1/3.
Add 7, you get? Thank you. I'll be here all week, except for Tuesdays and Mondays. Mondays and Tuesdays.
Is there anything we're doing tomorrow?
Oh yeah, I forgot about that. That's why we're doing a lot of this now, because I have no idea how many most of you guys are, if not all of my classes are going to be down here around tomorrow. So we're just going to have more of these problems tomorrow. So I'll see you next time. I just, yeah. I'm trying to think if we have any more. Ooh, oh yeah, fraction. All right. Last one. I did, didn't I?
I don't have any more space on my paper.
Turn the page. Alright, so I have a whole bunch of junk going on here. And I wanted to make sure I showed you guys something with the fraction, because I want you to understand that it's really, really, really easy to work with fractions. It is the 31/4. So as you go through this one, obviously you're working backwards to solve the equation. So you have to undo stuff. Which means the first thing means you have to move the what? You got to move the 8. So am I adding 8 or subtracting 8? Subtracting. But remember, I'm going to rewrite this 8 in terms of having a denominator of 4. Okay? So I multiply 8 by 4, what do you get? 32. So I'm going to subtract 32 over 4. I just moving my 8. What's 31 over 4 minus 32 over 4? Okay? So now I have negative 1/4, and I have negative 2 junk plus 8. Oh, sorry, I forgot. I already did that. Okay, so now I'm here. So far, so good?
Yes.
All right. What do I do with the negative 2? Divide by negative 2. Is it the same as multiplying by negative 1/2? Okay, just remember that. Multiplying by negative 1/2 is the same thing. What's negative 1/4 times negative 1/2? 1/8. Good. So now I'm at negative 16 minus 4 to negative 1/2 is 1/8. So far, so good?
Yes.
Okay.
Should be 4x.
Thank you. I didn't realize I forgot to bring the x with. All right. How do I undo the exponent of negative 1/2? Nope. What's the reciprocal of negative 1/2? Negative 2. So I raise that to the negative 2. All right. So negative 1/2 to the negative 2, power to power, you multiply, you get positive 1. That exponent's done. I'm left with just the jump, the negative 16 minus the 4x. 1/8 to the negative 2. Well, that means the 1 isn't happy and the 8 isn't happy, which means they have to get flipped. So what's 8 squared?
Plus 6.
Even though it was a fraction, it was pretty easy to work with. That's the idea. They're not going to be difficult to work with. They're just going to make you go, and then you're like, oh, okay.
I don't know why I'm having fun.
It's procedural. You guys like doing procedural things. It's the less you have to think about what you do next, what you do next, the easier it is for you guys. And that's historically how math goes for most students. Right? So obviously the last thing I do is take the negative 20 way back up here. Negative 4 times negative 20 is 80. 80 minus 16 was 64. 64 to the negative 1/2, which means the square root of 1 over 64, which is 1/8. You okay with that? 1/8 times negative 2 would be negative 1/4. Negative 1/4 plus 8 is 31/4. I'm a great singer. Well, this is true. No offense. I'm a better singer than most people. I'm so modest. This is 7-6. For some reason, I thought maybe I don't have the PDF on there right now.
Yeah.